What is up, fellow gamers? I am Lulu Legacy. This is beautiful Brittany. That's fantastic, Nick. We are GamerAction. A couple of things today. I'm going to be talking about E3 2020 has unfortunately been canceled this year.
No,
I know.
sad.
I know. Especially,
it's a big one.
Yep, it was supposed to be June 9th through the 11th in Los Angeles. Highly anticipated. The organizers said it had been canceled after careful consultation over the health and safety of everyone in the industry. So I respect that very much. It's sad, like we won't get all those awesome, video game like demos that you can go and do and watch all the new news for all the games coming up next generation.
So they usually do demos and game release, like they give you like heads up on game release, or
it's like also just showing broadcasting what the company is about to roll out the next year.
Okay.
Like the exciting new things to come. They're broadcasting and getting everyone pumped up and excited for the next year. It's usually I like it.
Yeah, no, I can
geek
imagine.
out with it.
Yeah,
but their plan is to live stream the events and announcements and upload demos to the internet for people to try. So it's not gone, but it's just a different way.
Virtual. Yeah, it'll be a virtual option this year.
A lot of people are doing that now. Just because COVID is running rampant right now. Obviously, I think it's on the decline, which is great. But still, people are being extremely cautious as far as get-togethers like that.
Right.
And it's a big convention, so a lot of people go to that, and obviously they want to keep everybody safe. So unfortunately, that has been canceled.
Yep. So fingers crossed. 2020 is not the year that E3 dies, but it'll keep on living on.
No, absolutely. I think all of these types of things will pick back up next year. We remember the ESI summit. That's going to be online now, and we I think that's just going to be part of the game this year. So we have multinational electronics company LG has made an esports and gaming dedicated channel. It's called LG Gaming.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, I don't think I have much of an opinion on it. To tell you the truth, I haven't really explored too much of the functionality. I can tell you that Carolyn Anderson, she's the marketing director over at LG Electronics in the UK, she commented on the venture and said the gaming and esports community is one of the most unique and exciting communities in the world. We obviously agree. And as one of the leading providers of esports products, it's incredibly important to us have a real and authentic involvement with the culture. So that's her take on it, and I'll be interested to see how this pans out, and I'd be interested to see how it relates to some of the other bigger companies that have been pushing, the gaming channels and things like that.
I think we talked about this last time. A lot of businesses are getting into the esports now, considering everything is online.
Right.
A lot of people are really involved within the sport now. And so people are trying to capitalize on that. LG has their hands in so many ventures because they figure they'll transfer over to this one too.
They may as well. I mean, Amazon's doing it and everybody else, so it's not a bad move.
Exactly.
Tell us about.
So I got a little bit of a discussion point today for everybody, and this is something that we talk about pretty frequently, but I don't think we really hit head on. We never really dug into this, and as far as stats and data. And so I want to talk about the age of gamers throughout the past years, and kind of the demographic of gaming now, especially now since COVID is shut everything down. A lot of people are at home gaming, but it was very interesting to see and actually look up data of the demographic and age of these gamers. So in the esports world, esports professionals, some of the oldest gamers are around the 28, 27 years old. There is the oldest professional esports player for LCS is actually 28 years old, and the oldest esports professional for the new Call of Duty League is actually 27.
Right. Yeah.
Which I thought was very interesting because that's pretty young considering everything.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty young, but I think it's one of those sports that I think you might top out at about that age. I think that might be the max age. It makes sense to me that would be. So now it's the top player is that age, or the oldest player. That's right. So then that does make sense to me. Yeah, because I think that when you start cusping that 30, 35 age range, you've lost
skills
a lot of that.
Like your quickness.
Maybe the quickness.
They actually call it Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
The quickness of the controller, the mouse,
that
the
makes
keyboard,
so
they call it
much
Twitch.
sense. Did you see the dots connect for me just then?
Yeah, exactly. Jackpot.
Jackpot. That's it. That's the first time the dots connected. Okay, go ahead.
So over time, obviously, you lose that Twitch.
Right.
And so that's why basically older gamers, which old is
They're past their prime.
That would be
exactly.
us.
They're replaced by the younger 17-year-olds that are winning millions.
This is pretty consistent through all sports.
Yeah,
I think any hands-on sport, you're in a real-time sport where you're using any kind of motor skill, gross or
Quick response time.
right. Either way, you're looking at about 27, 28 basketball, football. I would say that trend is pretty consistent through all sports. So
I would 100% agree.
Yeah.
And just a couple stats here. I think in the past, 6 years from 2014, the average age of the LCS or the League of Legends Championship Series went from 21 to 22.5. So in 6 years, it only increased a year and a half. And that's average age of these professionals. So I just thought that was very interesting. And one other point I want to talk about, and you'll like this, Fortnite. Obviously, it's a very large game, and people think that a lot of kids play Fortnite.
They do, but
Stats say that 63% of people playing Fortnite are between the age of 18 and 24.
I believe that. That makes sense to me. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So I just thought that was interesting because when you think of Fortnite, you think of kids playing, the teens playing, but
it's a young adult
really,
thing.
it's a young adult thing.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
I think that it's a game that's kid friendly, but I think that the real skill set comes into play.
But there's gonna be a lot of parents that play with their kids, teenagers. It's how they bond with them. So I know people 30s, 40s, 50s that play the game.
So it's funny you say that because only 15% of people are over the age of 35 that play Fortnite.
And that seems to be a consistent statistic all the way through esports on all the games,
agree.
right? That 30 plus. I also think there's something to be said, just kind of circling back to your initial point about the 27, 28 range being the oldest. I think that what happens is, for lack of a better way to put it, life kicks in.
True.
I mean, I think a lot of people statistically start their careers, like their the more intense end of their career, and they maybe start having children and things. And then, not always. That's a flexible range.
Right.
With esports, you have to devote like 12 hours a day.
That's right. And there's so much of that that becomes unavailable, generally speaking. Again, it's a very general thing to say, and that varies. But I think that starts to diminish that time, that 12-hour commitment availability starts to diminish as you get into your into your 30s. So
yeah, I just thought it was super interesting how the demographic is so narrow in that 18 to 24 range. I mean, that's the bulk of these esport professionals. So I just thought that was very, very interesting. Yeah, we don't have a lot of old people, but we don't have a lot of really young people either.
Sure. That does come as a surprise to me, actually. I expected you to say something along the lines of 14 or 15 is the starting range, not even up as far as 18, I thought.
Exactly.
So we have a trivia answer for you guys.
Right.
I don't know if you two looked up the answer. The question was that Mario was first seen in the game Donkey Kong, but he was called what? And the answer is, do you guys know?
I do.
Who you do? Do you?
I cheated. I looked it up.
Jumpman. Okay. Jumpman. Jumpman.
I knew you were going to do that.
Them boys up to something.
Oh,
Woo!
That makes sense.
Jumpman.
What was his profession?
Okay, so back then, should we make this another question, or you think just tell them?
Just tell him.
Okay, so he was not a carpenter. He was not a plumber. He was a carpenter.
That's right.
Which I don't know that I could tell the difference, but maybe in real life, definitely not in Mario's little
I'm glad
suit.
they changed that.
You are. You prefer him as a plumber. You do. You prefer him as a toilet man.
That's the whole.
He's my
premise
favorite
of,
toilet man.
That's the whole premise of Mario. Is that he's a plumber and he goes through the tubes and.
I just wonder.
Climb a tree.
Right. Sure. Is that what you picture carpenters doing? Climbing trees.
Cutting it down.
Comment below if you're a carpenter and you
I retract that statement. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like,
maybe not trees. Maybe they don't climb trees. So trivia question for tomorrow.
I like this.
This is a good one. How many grenades are thrown in Call of Duty over the course of 5 years? Stay tuned.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
for that one. This is an interesting.
Do you guys have any guesses? Do you have a guess? I think I told you the
You already
answer, so
told
you
me the
can't
answer.
guess.
I
But what
can't
is your
guess.
Why
guess?
don't you ever tell me the answer?
I don't always tell Nick. He was just there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Tell me what you think. Give me a number. Don't look.
500. How many years?
5 years. Don't look.
3 million.
All right, 3 million. That's
Okay.
your guess. All right, guys, that's the show for you today. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe below, and ring that bell for all new notifications. We'll catch you gamers later.